Welcome back to Dad Ruins Everything. Last time I ruined extended warranties and device protection plans. Today I ruin chakras and New Age mystic beliefs. In my household, I get exposed to a lot of different belief systems that I approach with a healthy amount of skepticism. There's nothing wrong with critical thinking, right? Well, Mom the Creative recently returned from getting a massage. In addition to therapeutic massage, she also had some chakra alignment work done. Fun. I received a summary of the tune-up, much of which apparently had to do with the sacral chakra. What came next was a question from her. Is this the next thing you're going to ruin? Good question. Stop. Research time. Quick warning, I may have some pronunciation issues throughout this video. Feel free to be pedantic in the comments. Our first stop is about 3,500 years ago with early Vedic traditions. Here, the concept of life force energy or prana appears in the Vedas, the oldest Hindu scriptures. Nadis, or energy channels, are mentioned in Vedas as well. Chakras make their appearance in the Brihadaranyaka and Yoga Upanishads between the 7th century and the 3rd century BCE. From the 4th century forward, in the Common Era, tantric traditions in Hinduism and Buddhism developed elaborate systems of chakras, kundalini energy, and meditation practices. Depending on what religious flavor you subscribed to, you had to deal with 5, 6, or 7 different chakras. In the late 19th and 20th centuries, it was time to bring in the white guys. Here's really where we get into what most non-historians would recognize as chakra-related beliefs. First, we get to C.W. Leadbeater and his book, The Chakras. Leadbeater was part of the Theosophic movement, blending Eastern religions with esoteric philosophy. He simplified the chakra system into 7 major energy centers. He also linked chakras to the human endocrine system, attempting to give them some tenuous biological basis. If creating a humanistic connection after 3,000 years wasn't bad enough, his descriptions of chakras were based on clairvoyant visions rather than centuries-long history and texts. Next up, Alice Bailey. A theosophist like Leadbeater, Bailey is notable as an originator of New Age spiritual and religious practices and beliefs. She was in groups that today would probably be considered cults, and she integrated chakras into her esoteric psychology, associating them with different personality types and in human evolution. If that sounds science-based, let me assure you that it's not. Bailey said that her understanding of the 7 rays that determine human psychology, the fates of nations, and the planets in the heavens came to her telepathically from a master of wisdom. Bruh. The same goes for her teachings on esoteric astrology and esoteric energy healing. Unrelated, she was also a racist and an anti-Semite. If you want to make the argument that those positions are rationalized by her being born in 1880, I would tell you that contextualization and rationalization are not the same thing. In my opinion, she's a terrible person to set up value and belief systems. Most people are at least passingly familiar with Carl Jung, the Swiss psychologist. His contribution was comparing chakras to archetypes of human development. He popularized the concept of linking chakras to psychological growth, with some examples being the root chakra being tied to survival, heart chakra being tied to love, and the crown chakra being tied to enlightenment. This transformed chakras from being a mechanism of spiritual enlightenment into a framework for personal transformation. The human potential movement, starting in the 1960s, merged Eastern mysticism with Western psychotherapy. This is when chakras were adapted into self-help techniques focused on unlocking personal potential. As with many fringe belief systems, there was a point where all of this went mainstream. In order to have as much appeal as possible, this evolution was branded as New Age spirituality and was dumbed down to be more accessible to the masses. First, it was made simpler when Christopher Hill introduced the rainbow color scheme for chakras in his book, Nuclear Evolution. It had no historical basis, but was visually appealing and easy to remember. Incidentally, this is what you do when you want to make toddlers pay attention. If you see a parallel here with astrology going to sun signs, it's not a coincidence. The New Age movement of the 1980s fused chakras with Western healing practices like Reiki, aromatherapy, and crystal healing. I think I sense another Dad Ruins Everything episode coming on. Chakras were linked to emotions, physical health, and blocked energy. For anyone that's into math, these new chakra beliefs have been around for less than 1.5% of the time chakra-related beliefs have existed. After something goes mainstream, it pretty much inevitably goes commercial. Since the 1990s, chakras have become a mainstream wellness concept. You can spend money on self-help books, yoga classes, online courses and workshops, and New Age healing businesses. The bundle of special healing now includes chakra meditations, crystal therapy, essential oils, sound healing, and chakra-centric affirmations. I would think that seeing the timeline of chakra beliefs would be enough to ruin it. After all, the 3,000-year-old beliefs were true, or they weren't, right? What would justify tacking on all of the relatively new beliefs? But maybe you're a diehard believer in the New Age-based chakra beliefs despite all of the obviously fabricated framework. I have something for you too, a list. There's no physical evidence. Chakras are said to be energy centers within the body, but no scientific study has identified any physical structures that correspond to them. Unlike nerves, blood vessels, or endocrine glands, chakras have no observable or measurable presence in the body. This is important because if you can't observe an impact, there is no impact. Proponents claim that chakras govern the flow of energy, whether you call it prana, chi, or life force, but science has found no verifiable evidence of any such energy field. Despite non-scientists throwing around the word energy to account for magic, science has the ability to measure energy down to the quantum scale. Since our best sensors and medical imaging can't identify any energy centers related to chakras, the logical conclusion is that they don't exist, at least until someone can demonstrate their existence. After all, the null hypothesis isn't that chakras are real. The idea that a non-measurable energy can travel through space, interact with human health, and be manipulated by thought alone contradicts what we know about the laws of thermodynamics, biochemistry, and physics. No empirical support in controlled studies. Studies on Reiki, energy healing, and chakra balancing often show results that can be explained by the placebo effect or the general relaxation benefits of meditation rather than an actual energy system. In controlled experiments, individuals who claim to see or manipulate chakras, such as energy healers, have repeatedly failed to detect or influence energy fields in double-blind settings. Also in controlled experiments, like the 1988 Emily Rosa experiment, energy healers failed to diagnose the same person with consistent chakra conditions even just a few minutes apart. Also, under blinded conditions, they failed to sense any energy, demonstrating that the ability is imaginary. Studies on energy healing methods failed to show effects beyond the placebo effect when subjected to double-blind and controlled trials. In randomized controlled trials, patients receiving energy healing do not show better outcomes than those receiving placebo treatment. Misinterpretation of biological functions. Some argue that chakras align with the endocrine glands or nerve plexuses, but we now know that these scientific structures function based on hormonal and neurological mechanisms, not mystical energy. For example, the pineal gland, often linked to the third eye chakra, regulates sleep through melatonin but has no evidence of psychic abilities or higher consciousness. Psychological and cultural influence. Many people feel effects from chakra practices because of belief and expectation, or the placebo effect. If someone believes that balancing their chakras will help them feel better, they might experience subjective improvements. The chakra system, originating in Hindu and Buddhist traditions, has been altered and popularized in Western spirituality in ways that don't align with its historical roots. Many modern interpretations are New Age fabrications rather than traditional teachings. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure that it can be fun to cosplay as a New Age guru, or maybe even a New Age disciple. The danger is if you're spending time and money on treatments. Aside from being objectively no different than setting your money on fire, it could prevent some from seeking necessary mental or physical treatments from qualified health professionals. Remember, this is not a comparison of equivalent options. One is demonstrably effective and the other is pseudoscience. And with that, I hope chakras and New Age voodoo are sufficiently ruined for you, or for someone that you're going to forward this to. I have ideas about what I'd like to ruin in the future, but I'd also appreciate suggestions from all of you. If you found this video to be educational or entertaining and would like to see more like it, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm just getting this thing started, and I could really use your help. Feel free to suggest, argue, or whatever in the comments below. Thanks, and have an awesome day.